Yeah. Welcome. Here we are on the 4th of September, and already we can feel that these energies have shifted. So for me, I could feel the shift of those on the 1st. But yeah, it's really interesting how they are, because to me they feel much clearer and cleaner. Excuse me. Much clearer and cleaner than the other energies. So they're definitely these energies for cleansing and purification on that level still. We are, well, trudging seems like hard work, but we're moving through these, and our attitude to it, I believe, determines the way in which we encounter and process them. These energies are super fast. Some people are finding there seems to be two kind of main responses to these energies. Some people are finding them quite discombobulating, a little bit, maybe fiery, maybe not the heat of fire, but the sort of the energy of it, the movement of it. And other people are really sitting within that energy, and that's what's going on around them, but they are in their still point, their 0 point. So if you're in these are fierce and all over the place, and I don't know what's going on, if you're in that energy, I want to suggest to you that you just bring yourself in to center and just invite those energies to be outside your field. Oh, I want to put this back here because I want to be speaking to the Ascension spiral. So that's the first thing. Quick this month's energies are. They are accelerating. The general synopsis of these energies, I might be a little bit back and forth, but I know you'll be able to follow me with it. Hello, Charlotte. Thank you. So these energies, you could call them, I always think of the 9, the month of 9, the numerology of 9 as being the ending of chapters, the finishing off of lots of things. So this is what we're witnessing. It kind of made me laugh that when Gaia showed me that in September I got shown all of these volcanic orange glowing embers, this volcanic molten lava. I got shown that, and then I got told 3 places around the world in September. And then on the 1st of September, there was a volcanic eruption in Russia. I can't remember now the name of the mountain. So if my because really, I am just the conduit, and I try to stay out of the way. So if I did that successfully and interpreted it all correctly, we've got 2 more to go, and they're in 2 other different places. I started to tune in, and then I thought no, because our most important focus is to keep our vibration high. So you'll be guided to move if you are in the midst of that and you're attuning to yourself. But I didn't see it as a huge disaster. It's the planet cleansing and clearing. So the rain that's been coming in, you could see that as having 2 effects. You could see that as having a cleansing, a clearing, a purifying effect, and it is. And you could also see it because even though I believe that we are just on one timeline and people are at different places on that timeline, there is still this other trajectory that's kind of zipping across every now and again. And so from that kind of interference factor, it's still on the spectrum of our existence. It's not I don't know, we could see it as, where that's the enemy and we're the good guys. And it kind of, you could see it like that. But a higher way to see it is that we're on the spectrum, and these are all aspects of our own internal elements. And so the more that we come into peace, into ease, into center, into alignment, into our high vibration, the more these things dissipate out of our general vicinity and out of our general perception and viewing platform. So we have a tendency to want to see those things, and they can be good signals to us. We just don't focus on them. So there's that kind of thing that's been happening. And so we could see these floods as clearing and cleansing and purifying. We could also see them as cleaning up, because there is cleanup underground that's been going on in the dumps, clearing it out, and everything needs to be cleared out. That's not my perception that we go to another planet, and I could be wrong about that, but I have never ever seen that. I have seen that some people go to another planet, but that those who are here working with the earth, with the energy of Gaia, that we don't. So it's, I guess, I may not have the highest level perception to give you the highest level viewpoint, but how I see it is that we are becoming more vibrational and less dense as a planet. And how I've shown it, which may be the limit of my brain capacity, it's as though there are dimensional bands or dimensional bandwidths, and so we move through them until there is a point where we will just be, a minimum of fifth dimensional bandwidth. So that's my take on it. And also, you will know that my take on it, I've always seen that we move further through the photonic belt. So we're having these ongoing solar flashes, and they are coming more frequently, and they're coming in with greater energy. And that's my perception of what we're doing. So this ascension spiral, I want to explain how I see that, because this is my way of A, explaining ascension, and B, having come to some understanding of the process. So it's a spiral. On that spiral is our ascension flame, our DNA helix, double, triple helix. It all depends on where you're at in your ascension in the spiral, and it represents the flower of life. So I have always seen the flower of life as the sacred geometric hologram of the earth that's contained within the toroidal field. It moves. So the sacred geometric shape of the spherical flower of life, it moves in the toroidal field. And there's this combination of other factors. So we have our own Merkaba, and so that works in connection with the flower of life and the central vertical core, or the north-south pole axis. So you think of the earth being in its form, and us being the micro of that. So each of us is in the same process, and we are the ascension spiral. We travel it as an individual, and then when there comes this movement that becomes more collective, we have this collective ascension spiral, and then that becomes the humanity ascension spiral, which becomes the planetary ascension spiral. So I'm just kind of giving an overview, trying to explain. So this image, which is a print of the painting that I did in 2016, it contains a lot of things, and I knew this was the ascension spiral, but it contains a lot of elements that have become very clear to me over the last couple of years. So In her hand is the star tetrahedron, which represents the toroidal field, and it's a golden healer. So, the golden healer is a very high vibrational crystal, and so it can represent that and the toroidal field and the pyramid that represents the feminine and the masculine, and the inverted inside one another. One spins one way, one spins the other to create the star tetrahedron. And so Gaia is holding us. She is in us and is holding us to ascend to our new earth and our new position further into the photonic belt, further in movement into the galaxy towards the central sun. So that's a little bit of a longer version, perhaps, if you haven't been around while I've explained that. Right. So in general, you might be feeling these energies. They're quite intoxicating. They're quite elevating. They're quite affirming as well. You may have enabled them to allow you to ride a little bit further into trust, a little bit further into the excitement of this moment or this time, this trajectory, because to me anyway, it's becoming increasingly obvious that we are in the midst of doing what we have kind of sat on the edges of believing it would come, and then believing it was coming, and then believing, oh, it might be so. And I think there's no what would be the word? There's no doubt that, let's call it that. There's no doubt that we're in the midst of this. So the other aspect about ascension, there's two aspects I want to speak of here. One is that we can ascend individually, and the other is that we can ascend in small groups. We can also ascend as a large group and as the whole of humanity and as the planet. So we'll be moving through aspects of those during this time. And I'm showing that we've been going through, and you'll probably recognize this, that we've been going through this increasing, the Schumann resonance is a good kind of reflective measure for us about this. It's been increasingly higher with spikes, and they have become bigger spikes and more frequent in their spiking and more close together in their spiking. And over the months, we seem to have 2 sets of a few days or 3 sets of a few days where it's like we go from having a constant rainfall of energies to having a downpour, and then we integrate, and we've moved through all of that as well, where we've had a little bit and then some integration and then some rest time, and now we're doing that on the run, but we're also doing it with greater intensity and higher frequency and more rapid alignment. So now we're doing it at a sprint. Something else about that. Yeah, so you might also already be finding that you're living in this fifth dimensional space, the space where you are in your own kind of buzzy joy zone, able to manifest and create things very quickly. And that can be a refinement tool, because if it shows up and it's not what you want, then have a good look at where your focus has gone with that. And then as more, it's like, I think I like the analogy that came to me one day about water traveling up a string, that the absorbency of it, it gradually travels up until there's more of it. So you'd say that water can't travel upwards, but it does. And this is a bit like the ascension spiral, and there's more droplets, each of us being a droplet traveling up the ascension spiral on this piece of string. Then it becomes this movement, this flow, And that's really what we're experiencing now. So the more people who have ascended into the fifth dimensional space, it has this effect of pulling more people up, which has the effect of creating a bigger group, more water traveling up in a thicker sort of viscosity, if you like. And then that drags more in. And so it's this tipping effect in a whole lot of ways that we are witnessing and being a part of at the moment. And then we've got these gateways. So we've got some gateways this month that show up as having an added dimension, or an added dimension could be a confusing word to use, I guess, in this analogy, but an extra feature, if you like. So let me just check here. So if I reference back to twins, which some from the other day in terms of the dates. So what I got was that we're ascending in two big waves, and twins are ascending in two big waves, which doesn't mean that everybody is in it, but it's available for everybody to be in one of those two waves. And some might go early and some might come behind, just the same as in the Ascension wave. So the first wave is in preparation for ascending together into a fifth dimensional space through the 1111 gateway, the gateway of illumination on the 11th of November 2022. And then that will kind of, pull the energy in more. And then the second, the divine masculine who aren't awake for that portal, that 1111 gateway, they will be awakened during that gateway, and then that sort of wave will generally come together after that in time to ascend together in the window from December the 12th to December the 21st. So that's how I'm showing that. I think we're in sort of a 3-month view forward, with a 3-month view next year. So personally, there's this potentiality for us to have ascension through that 1111 gateway. And the more that we maintain our alignment, so we have to be mindful of that there's this energy coming to drop us down. It's to challenge us to stay in our center, to stay in our laneway. And then the more that we do that, the more we kind of pull in those who are not. So it sounds I don't mean to sound wishy-washy, but it's just become more evident to me. It's like this, it could be the slow boat to China that could have this wave come behind it that shifts it across quickly. We could see it like that. It's all about how well we do. And we are doing very well. Humanity is awakening, and in greater rapidity, if you like, and greater escalation and greater acceleration. So there's this movement, this squeezing, this pushing, this compression, this pressure that's gone on through these energies is all designed to make us respond, to awaken, to look, to go, oh, I see that, to recognize the truth, and to come into a new view, a higher frequency, a higher vibration. It's this ongoing process, this spiral. And the other aspect is the toroidal field. So we are, it's like our cells and our heart and the planet all operate, or our cells, our heart, our body, and the planet all operate within a toroidal field. So we are, maybe I'll just put that here, there. I was shown. So we had a 3-dimensional toroidal field, or torus, that went from north to south axis and around in a clockwise direction. That's if we were feeling it going around us. And then there was an overlay of a 5th dimensional toroidal field, and that was the other. So that was a south-north direction and an anti-clockwise direction. And so our cells, our heart, our Taurus did that as well. And so that's what we're in now. We're in that. The irony, as I have said before, is that it's whether something is clockwise or anti-clockwise depends on where you're viewing it from. So let's talk about it as though you're inside it. And then the third one was, in a way, it was holding the matrix, and as that dissolved, so the fifth dimension was holding the fifth dimensional toroidal field was holding the planetary vibration or hologram or planet, however you wish to view it, in that vibration as the third dissolved. And so what we're witnessing, of course, this month is this rapid follow on from the previous 3 months. So you'll remember in June I talked about the structure being wobbled, people beginning to see in 7 or feel that things weren't right, that in the 7th month we would see the truths revealed, that in the 8th month we would see the structures being swapped out, the deficits clearly showing up in the physical, and then in this month we're seeing it crumble. So we're seeing it crumble like old ruins, as I said the other day. So it's quite incredible what is showing up in terms of all of our systems and structures. This is likely to be evident this month in the speed that we're in. We're likely to see this evidence of these structures dissipating, dissolving, changing over to new forms, and some of it may be like a false front with something sitting behind it, but definitely we're watching all of that, and more truths coming out in the mainstream. I always got shown that this kind of irony, the mainstream would have to divulge themselves because they are the trusted source of truth, right? So if you got on there to do the newscast and you were giving them information that was contrary to what they've been given over the last 2 decades and over the last 2 and a bit years, you wouldn't have the believability factor. So the people who have done the convincing of this is the truth will have to do the convincing that this is the new truth. And yeah, apparently there's already been a few examples of that. Oh yes, Margaret Bowley, I apologise. I didn't give any notification. I just jumped on. I've been planting seeds and I've had clients and I had made a promise to be on here yesterday or today. So Charlotte gave me a hurry up about that. So that's why I'm here. Okay. Now, what is there anything else? Is there anything else about that anyone can think of that I need to attend to? Anyway, it's a bit like we're having this streaming through to 5th dimension, and it affects individuals and the planet. And so we just do us, and that's the effect of the roll on, the trickle out, the vibrational effect of your frequency and vibration. It starts to oscillate and affect others. Yeah, so I'm shown that there are 2 main availabilities, windows, this year, in this 3-month cycle. And it doesn't mean that we won't or can't ascend on other dates, but I'm showing that the 1111 portal is a big one. And the other thing is that it may not be our human or planetary final ascension. I don't think that's likely for the 1111, but it could be our personal ascension window. And then there's the or gateway, and then the window from the 12th to the 21st, that is a potential human or planetary ascension, and so we could make it for that as well. So you can see that it's like we are continuing up the levels, and that there are opportunities for, and the more that we can really sit in our personal vibration and high frequency, holding our light, and we've got all these codes that have been coming in. Our body's doing the right thing with that. We have to be aligned and centered and be in appreciation and gratitude and focus on what you want, and then we'll call in what we want. We attract who we are by being who we want, if you like, or what we want. It's kind of an oxymoron, but we become, in terms of attracting partners, for example, we become who we want to attract, and then that attracts that. And in terms of this manifestation of other things like jobs or houses, material possessions, we're shifting through that, where we'll be able to manifest very, very quickly. But in the meantime, we can be in the practice of that. So it's about lining up with our focus on what we want. It's being mindful of not focusing on the lack, but focusing on it as though you already have it, and you can kind of be in the energy of it as though you already are in the experience of it. Yeah, so as we move through as well, you can imagine that if you've moved through into your fifth dimensional gateway or bandwidth, that then you're accessing more and more. And so as we are at the moment, those people who are in the kind of first wave are in the process of, and we've spoken about this, integrating. So there's this process of light coming in, things coming up, old woundings, old programs, limited beliefs coming up for us to clear, and we clear that out. It makes more space for more light and more codes to come in. So we're in that ongoing process of that. We come into this integration of our fifth dimensional divine plan blueprint, and integrating those. So we're pulling ourselves up by pulling that in, and then the next phase was doing that same thing, but with up to seventh dimensional experiences back through time, space, and dimension, the lifetime experiences that we've had on this planet, and the ways that it affects our programming and our DNA and our experiences. And then once we've integrated that, so many of you will be in that process now of integrating up to seventh dimensional experiences and accessing the gifts and the codes and the knowing that comes with that. A lot of people moving from the knowing in the mind to the knowing in the cells. People's psychic gifts coming online, this ability to sense, see, feel, know, hear what is coming, to be guided by being in your present moment. And then the next thing is that we'll be doing that up to a 12th dimensional level. And there's this total notion of just being in present moment with all of that. There's nothing to do. It's all about being in alignment, being in presence, working with the breath, but just being mindful that these are the processes. So be aware of them, be in process with them, and just notice, because this is happening anyway. But if you want to be in that deliberate attention of calling it in, then do so. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're in the process of it. And I think it's often good to be speaking those things out loud, because it's reminding yourself at all levels where your focus is and what it is that is your intention. And that can bring us into the resonance. So our body gives us very clear messages if we are trying to line up with something that isn't quite right, or we're not quite ready for. And so our body can give us that out of alignment response, or a vibratory response, or a contraction somewhere that just brings us to a point of focus of attending to things. So we're in that process, this being in present moment and just letting the next thing unfold, being in present moment and letting the next thing unfold. So this is our new process, and to be doing it while being in nature as often as we can, bare feet on the ground as often as we can, and with a lot of hydration. And you just be guided by your inner being, by your higher self, by your higher aspects, about what you want to eat, what you wish to do. There's a lot of rest needed. It's massive integration that our cells are going through. Right. So yeah, just a reminder that there are portals and peak energy times, and so it may be that there are times when you need more rest and more hydration and more away from the world times. Okay, so I'll just read. I think I've said this, but so some are leading the way into a fifth dimensional space, and then some of that becomes groups leading the way into a fifth dimensional space. And then we've got the 1111 portal and the 12 to 21 of December window. That's all assists that to flow. So through that process, so Gaia, speaks about 2 ascension waves, 4 twins and 4 humanity, but not necessarily in the same dates. We have individual ascension, we have group ascension, and twins are one of those groups. But what twins do when they come together is they create this exponential wave of love that ripples out and affects the collective for human ascension. So that's the kind of order of that. All right, someone asked a question about density and why people who were still asleep didn't feel these energies. And so this is what I got, that people who are in greater density are being woken from the inside. So are we, but we're just more sensitive to it. We're more aware of it. We're brought to the focus of it. So they're having this inside transformation, and thereby, because of their level of density, are not yet aware of this. Many will receive their awakening level to one of personal awareness through the 1111 portal of illumination. So this is a very important portal, a very important gateway for humanity, because this is going to awaken the masses. Even though the masses are awakening, this is going to awaken the masses to a higher level. And there's a couple of extra little tidbits, so we'll see if they happen. I am showing that on the 999, okay, so the 9th, 10th, 11th of September, that we are likely to see significant sky events. They're designed to pique curiosity, to develop greater awareness, to prompt more questioning of both internal and external factors. And for those who are still asleep, they will be feeling uncomfortable, off balance, and this energy will send them to do some self-inquiry, some research about recent events and the history of our world. Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to say too that there's these 2 sort of clusters during September. So the next one is the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And what I was showing is these beautiful shafts of light. They're pale yellow, a white yellow shaft, these pillars of light coming from above. So this is another sky phenomena that has people seeking a higher answer. And they will show up in many places around the world, I am told. And the other interesting factor is that I'm told that authorities may divulge some hidden space technologies to shoo these shafts of light away, to discredit them as coming from a divine source. So they'll make them seem more kind of tangible, more physical, more scientific, to discredit the divine aspect. Okay. Right, a couple of other things is that the plasma light waves that have been coming through, they contain a lot of gamma waves, and the gamma waves are high frequency, and apparently they use melatonin. And so this is a little kind of science fact about why it is that some of these waves that come in has such an effect on our not being able to sleep, because they use up the melatonin in our bodies. So if you can have access to melatonin, then you might find that that is helpful. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So this is what I wrote about the energies yesterday. Smooth transition energy today, inviting alignment and expansion. It's very much the warm, even though we're not in Leo season, this is how it felt to me. This lion-hearted expression with passionate sexual energy and sensory experiences and energies. Now, this is affecting many of, especially the divine masculine, but that you will be able to feel into this as well. You probably already have, but a lot of the divine feminine will have already had the kind of awakening to this experience of where the energies in the sacral and the energies in the heart, they kind of merge. So it becomes this deeper love, this beautiful warmth, these these kind of blending of that. I guess you could say the sexual energy is being felt in the heart being expanded and being warmed up by the fiery energies from the sacral, this recognition of that, which I guess links into the Kundalini energy as well. Okay, I really wanted to find an image for this and do a post of it, but I haven't. But honestly, close your eyes and imagine this. This is what Gaia was doing yesterday. So she was blowing kisses out to the universe and throwing up gardenia and frangipani blossoms in creamy yellow colours. And they're floating up in the air and across the planet and into the universe, celebrating humanity's arising, and with such a beautiful fragrance. So doesn't that conjure up something beautiful? I want to say to you that what came as an extra note yesterday was, wherever you are at, whatever stage you are at, you're in preparation. And so you can be asking yourself, what does that mean? So we are in these energies, in this final preparation, if you like. And so you just keep asking yourself, is there something I need? Is there something I'm to do? What's my guidance? What is my higher self guidance? What is my inner heart guidance? What is my sensory guidance? And follow that. So be that what you drink, what you eat, what you do when you sleep. We are in this massive ongoing integration to come into the next level, whatever that might be. And we're in the intensity and the speed of it. We're in the accelerated end of it. We're in the no time of it. Remember, we are moving into that quantum. And so we just keep being present in the moment, exploring what comes up for us, knowing that by doing that, we're in like correct place and correct timing. So I think that might be all that I have to offer you. I wanted to look up what frangipani and gardenia represent. I might just do that while I'm sitting here, actually. You won't know, but I have this because I do these things on screen, I have a bit of a multi-screen setup. So I'll just put that in. Talk amongst yourselves. Write questions in the chat. Yeah, let's go. Gardenia. Meaning. A gardenia symbolizes, get this, trust, hope, peace, renewal, and protection. Gardenia flowers I love this. You know, it's just always so perfect, isn't it? Gardenia flowers symbolize everything related to pure attraction and the spiritual world. How cool is that? All right, what was the other flower? Go back. Honestly, you would think that I had no brain, but I do. It's this learning to be so much in the moment. Okay, so a few different cultures have assigned meanings to the frangipani flower, including modern American culture. These meanings include the strength to withstand tough challenges, symbolizes fertility, strength, growth, and romantic love. So, you know, they're very appropriate flowers for Gaia to be throwing out for us. And we really are on our way, and the timing thing is kind of irrelevant. Remember, quite a long time ago, Gaia spoke about we would do things in sequential order. So we have to do one thing before the other. So we focus on us, we focus on our own inner guidance, on staying in this highest vibration of joy, and each of us kind of, you know, starts to collect up the others around us, and that creates a bigger movement. All right, let's see what's in the chat here. Yes, Margaret, I think Margaret said she didn't get any notification. I didn't send out any notification. I'm really unsure whether a notification goes out when I jump on or not. I have to find that out. Fiona says that's beautiful, Sharon. I'm not sure which part, but yeah, there's a lot of beauty in this. There really is. Margaret says a few other people I listen to have mentioned to look at the sky for a sign. Yeah, Gaia has been saying for quite a long time that we would witness the changes through what happens in our skies and in our waters. Fiona says, oh, how gorgeous. Yes. Stacey Ace from Outer Space is there in her movement. So appropriate, says Fiona. I think that might be to do with the flowers. Had a powerful activation today from Gaia and Source. Beautiful. Was able to capture it. Hyperlapse outside, captured a rainbow. That's beautiful. All right. So this expansion in the heart, it really is quite, feels quite new, the energy of it. It really holds this energy of warmth and of passion. And I think that that's one of the new aspects that we're feeling into in our body, like we're getting excited about our own beingness. I wanted to speak to you also about words that we might use about how we might feel. So I just want to just do a little tiny kind of visual and activation. So I just invite you to Frangipani's Charlotte Branson's favourite flower. Yeah, it's I used to have an Australian frangipani tree in a big rum barrel, but I was too big to shift by the time I moved. And yeah, it was glorious, and especially at night the scent comes out. So I invite you to take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And maybe make a noise on the release. And drop your focus into the body. Relaxation, softness in the body, warmth in the body, expansion in the heart. And now be breathing in your heart. I have to tell you, I have this experience sometimes when things come in as this huge truth for me, is that I have this experience as though my heart breathes separate to my breath. It really feels like that. It's like my whole heart goes. It feels like it. It has this an expansion. It has the sensation of that. I'm calling it a heart breath. So some things I have this heart breath response. It's like this deep, authentic truth. So be interested if any of you have that experience. So yeah, I want you to fall into your own heart. Fall into your own heart. Fall in love with your own heart. I want you to be sending quiet messages of gratitude to yourself for the work you've done and how far you have come, for the beauty within you, for the grace with which you move about the world, for your inherent wisdom, for the way in which your presence, your vibration, and your resonance acts as a conduit from heaven to earth and affects what is going on through the energetic movements on the surface of the planet and under the planet, inside the planet. And I want you to imagine or take yourself to a space that denotes for you the new earth, our fifth dimensional frequency, our fifth dimensional bandwidth. I want you to have your eyes closed as you feel yourself transported there. And you land. We haven't left the planet to do this. Maybe you just took a tiny step. And keep your eyes closed. I want you to feel your physical and sensory response to the energy. And notice the impact on your heart and your higher heart. And feel what else you feel. Maybe you feel tingling in your fingers or your feet. And keep your eyes closed and take some breaths and get a sensory experience without a visual. And then smell. Cast your nostrils across the spectrum. What can you smell? Now, what are the energies or frequencies you can feel coming into your field? What's the harmonic resonance of this space? Now Now keep your eyes closed and offer your face to the sun. Notice what color the sun is. Notice the temperature. Notice that you're feeling this radiant light. And you're not even sure if it's coming from you or to you. And now look at your feet with your eyes closed. So have your head looking down at the ground. Wriggle your toes, you're in bare feet. Open your eyes. Stay looking at your feet. Where are you? Where are your feet? What are they on? And gently raise your eyes and look around. What do you see in front of you? Maybe there are people around you that you know. Maybe they are new to you. You can see these interesting shapes that are forming between heart spaces as some new connections are formed or some old connections are renewed. Now look in the distance, and what can you see? How would you describe the landscape? What looks and feels familiar? What is new or surprising? Here in this space, how do you feel? Is there any trepidation? It is new. Reassure yourself that all is well and that you are safe. If you have any health issues, notice that they are gone. What else do you notice? And what can you hear? I want to say that many of your favourite birds will already be there. I'm sure for a long time now the birds cross in and out of dimensional space. Maybe you can see now the fairies, the gnomes, the elves, the unicorns and the dragons even. Maybe you can see your own dragon, your own unicorn. Go and stroke and muzzle their face, their forehead, around their nostrils where it's soft. invite the unicorn to use its horn to activate the third eye. What are you dreaming up for this space? Feel the energies here of love, of unity, of harmony and harmonious connections and relationships, of connection to the earth, of collaboration and co-creation with one another and with nature, the nature divas. That in this space, most of the time is spent in fathoming out what it is that you want to manifest, of tweaking it before you create it. Because in this space, instant manifestation is the game. And what do you do here? Letting go of all your old paradigms of what you think you should do and how you think you should be. What do you do? What is your function? What is your contribution? Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Be open to receiving that. You know, hold hands with everyone who's here, present and not present. And form this interweaving of ribbons, I want to say. Move in front and around, connect each to the other. And shoot out ribbons of love from your heart like a streamer into the hearts of all others present in the circle. And receive what comes to your heart, melting in like golden liquid light. As you fall into the auspices of feeling safe, at home, in love, in alignment, expanded, able to be authentic, speaking, feeling, hearing, knowing truth, your truth and others. This consciousness of community. Of this collaborative way of co-creating a new way of being. This beautiful new space that is so elegant and full of joy that it may be having the effect on you that it is on me, which is that it's very close to bringing tears. It's so, I want to use the word aqueous. It just has so much fluidity and movement and ability to morph. I haven't seen that before. It's a new experience for me in our new earth. And everything is clean and clear and pristine. You can hear sounds that have such purity. I invite you to put your hands out in front of you in a cupping motion and just invite anything else that's here and present in this new space to come into your hands. Any words, images, colours, experiences, and pop them in your heart so that at the end of this you can remember them and record them. And start a journal of your new earth experiences as you will come online with the knowings, the experiences, the rememberings, who you are and who you have been, integrating, coming together as you are stepping into this higher version, this fifth dimensional version of you or more, your original fifth dimensional divine plan blueprint or higher, whatever is for the highest good. And blow kisses to the people around you. Catch your frangipani. And come back to the space where you are. I will sing some, I will sing some light language to you to help with the integration of that. Ishikana Ishiyarana Aranarana Ishiakina Akanaranashi Iato Akanashi Iakanashia Takana or Tia Nara Tia Kananana Shia Nakana Atuya Rakana Wea Wearatiana Ikia Shikina Takana Shishiana Ratakato Oati Etia Shasha Etia Nana Katatatata Etiti or Takana Shishiana. And take a breath and just feel that it kind of has the effect of like this spreading of tiny molecules, like coming like petals falling off a tree. It's very soft. It's moving down and out and through your body, so coming down through the central vertical core but kind of fluttering out. And open your eyes when you are ready. And just see if there's any other questions or if there's anything that you think that I need to say that I haven't. Yeah, Charlotte's saying they deleted my subscription. Yeah, that I don't know if that's deliberate or whether there's some kind of bot thing that goes through and randomly kicks people out, but that happens to me in places as well. Stacey is saying that she has that heart, I think that's the heart breath she's referring to, when she's reading something important and her crown gives extra tingles. And Charlotte's saying that was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So I just invite you to, be in the conjuring up of that, because we are creating our new earth, how it looks, feels, how we interact with one another. It's this, the drop in the bucket, what the bucket contains as it comes together is what forms the collaborative co-creation for the bigger group, the collective whole. Okay, so yeah, very grateful for you to be here with me, and I send you so much love. And yeah, it's just so jolly close. All right, and I've been on here an hour and a bit. I didn't know I was going to be doing that, but I'm just doing what I'm guided to do. And so yeah, let's keep a lookout for these sky changes. All of the northern lights are all a part of that. The alien invasion might be a part of that other aspect, because there's this, the contrast is created to make us awaken more. That's the game, if you like, if we can call this a game, which I think is probably a fair thing to say. That the game is for us to be awakened. So it's not us, but we help the others awaken by holding this higher vibration. It's if you are in a swimming pool, you cannot help but get wet, right? So we are creating the water in the pool. That's basically a simple way of putting it. All right, enjoy the rest of the day, and yeah, we will see what happens on these big windows, and it's just going to fly by. And be the witness, be the observer of what is coming out. There's more and more truths being revealed and revealed in the mainstream, because there are still many who need to be given this opportunity to awaken. Now, was there something else I wanted to say about that? I don't think so. There's lots of ways, there's lots of processes, there's lots of methodology for beings to ascend. The game is not to just take those who, if you listen to my analogy the other day about taking the children on a walk up the mountain, it's not just the people who get to the top first who get to ascend. We have to be mindful of taking everybody with us. There's no kind of losers here. It's all soul choice. And yeah, interesting things coming through again with clients about walk-ins and souls who have left now. There's a number of them who have shown up as they're going to come in quite soon, like in the next 6 months to a year. There's been maybe 3 of those in the last month where clients have come to me and spoken about a loved one who has passed, and it shows up like that. So the walk-ins are showing up differently. So if we know about walk-ins, they are like soul exchanges. So it's often when somebody has a moment where they flatline, so they might be on the operating table or in some kind of incubation, and that it's a contract between two souls, and so their soul has done the lessons, done the learning, done what they came here to do, to experience, and then there's a situation set up where they're in kind of stasis, if you like, and that soul can leave and the new soul comes in. So that would be like the old paradigm way of often experienced amazing light beings coming in. And the new way, though, it's not that won't be happening, but the new way is that I just see beings dropping in their adult form. They don't come through the birth canal, and that they might drop in as children, but a lot of them are dropping in as adults. They're coming with specific tasks to do and specific focus for being here, but their physical body wasn't either in the right shape in terms of being well, or they are other beings coming in to assist us. And remember those gold beings who I saw that were present here on the new Earth at the end of November, that they were speaking about, that their role was as builders. So they're these amazing light beings from the star or planet called Centauri, which is not the same as Alpha Centauri, and it's definitely, I was shown, it's spelt with an S, Santauri. And these beings, who I hadn't seen before. So I was speaking to this really good friend of mine who's been my sister. She feels like my sister in this lifetime, even though she's not. And she's been my sister in other lifetimes. And her and I, we travel together, and it's just really, really beautiful. And I was telling her about this experience, and she said, I know them. I have seen them. I have worked with them often. And yeah, that's exactly what they're like. So that was interesting to me, because that was my first experience of it. So, we each hold a piece of the puzzle. That's the other aspect. All right, that's enough from me. Wishing you so much love. Be in your expanded self, in your aligned self. And we'll speak again soon. Bye.